I was in Germany, I wasn't be able to speak good German. I realized my German was not up to par. So I want to start with small things. And I went to maybe supermarket and asked people some questions. Do you like this product? How much is it? It's just very simple steps and help me really to, get into the level I want.
Nice. Awesome. Hello, everyone. Welcome to our show today. My name is John Drummond, or Yang Haoen.
Hello, 大家好，欢迎各位再度来到 NG 英文，我是 Angela。
We have a great episode for you today with my good friend Alice, who is known around the professional and LinkedIn community as Alice Ho.
是的，今天我们邀请到的来宾是 BEducation 可能制造所的创办人 Alice 侯彩彤，而且呢，她也是 Crossroads 非营利组织的一员哦。
My guest today was born and raised here in Taiwan. She is the founder of BEducation. She sits on a committee within Crossroads NGO, focusing on building experimental universities here in Taiwan. She is a lover of growth mindsets, an advocate for tech, education, Taiwan, and so much more. So everyone, please welcome my good friend, Alice.
Hi, everyone. I'm Alice. Nice to be here.
Yeah, what's up, Alice? Thank you for joining us today on NG Ingwen. So you are an incredible human being. You are the founder of BEducation. You are focused on nonprofits and experimental universities.
Yeah.
And you are just a believer and lover of growth mindset. So welcome to the show. I would love if you could give a little introduction about yourself.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me, John. I am the founder of BEducation, and I'm also the director of XU Experimental University Preparatory Committee of Crossroads. I was born and raised in Taiwan and spent half a year studying in Germany, then returned back to Taiwan for work. I am pursuing myself mostly for improving education.
Yeah, and you are an incredible advocate for education as you have so many wonderful ideas, innovative ideas for how, students can learn better, adults can learn better, and essentially just individuals can learn better. And so I wanted to start the interview today speaking about how you are such an incredible entrepreneur. You founded a company by yourself focusing around the education space. So can you take us through what is your company and what did you do when you founded it?
Sure. BEducation is an education consultancy. We provide guidance in student projects and teacher training through a self-developed methodology called objective fulfillment. Objective fulfillment is a procedural approach to navigating problems and discovering solutions by focusing on a clear definition of intent goals.
Nice. Yeah. So acting as, like you said, a consultancy for students and educators. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Awesome. So are you focusing on language development or actually applying that to all subjects?
So it could be applied to all subjects. And one of the main issues I see, not only in education, but in a lot of different areas, is that people don't really think about what kind of problem they want to solve in the very beginning. I think that's very important. So that's why we need to focus on a clear definition of goals first.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. And that's such an entrepreneurial mind is, actually identifying what is the problem. And then from there, you can start building solutions. Well done. That's so cool. And another thing that is more of, I feel, a real passion of yours is you are a director on a team focusing around a nonprofit called Crossroads. Is that right?
Yeah.
So can you take us through a little bit, Alice? What is Crossroads and what problems are you trying to solve?
The mission of Crossroads is to help Taiwan become more international. So the XU Experimental University that we are getting up in Taiwan right now is to directly place into that mission because of self-directed learning. Western university tended to be more self-directed, which leads more entrepreneurial, flexible, passionate, and out-of-box thinker. So that's what we wanted to do. And we want to have a chance to provide the experiences to Taiwanese university students.
Very cool. Yeah, so I love that. So it's kind of focusing on that Western mindset approach of self-direction. It's like, oh, I love teaching surfing, so therefore maybe I can explore a career path in education or being a teacher of some sort. And so essentially you're trying to cultivate that more in Taiwan with the Taiwanese ways of thinking with university. Did that happen because you experienced a negative time in university?
So my story is that I worked as an engineer for my first job, and I realized on my first day of work, I had no idea how to do the work that my supervisor assigned to me. But he was really nice. He sent me to a week-long training. During the training, I learned things I wasn't exposed to for my whole 3 years at university. So it really blew my mind that if I could learn things so valuable in such short amount of time, why this wasn't already happening in existing education system, especially with a rapid change in technology. Being independent and flexible is so important. Ever since then, I have focusing on improving the quality of education and accelerating my learning and being more self-directed at what I'm passionate about instead of just assuming that the system will teach me what I should do.
Yeah, wow, that is actually so important. So kind of just to sum up what you were saying right there, you went through 3 years of becoming a graduate student, an undergrad student of engineering, and you got to your first day at a job and you were not ready to handle the tasks. And therefore, you went to some type of extended learning. It took a week and you became more knowledgeable than you did in your 3 years previous. Wow. That is just fascinating and blows my mind too, because I think about how much people use YouTube now for learning and Coursera and all these online resources. So essentially you are creating an experimental university then that will allow students to self-direct weekly or bi-weekly or monthly. How does that work at a self-directed university?
So self-determined, self-directed basically means student has no major. They don't have required courses to do. So how we are gonna to do is student needed to bring in their lesson plan and tell us what they want to learn, and what kind of people they want to become. So we help them to navigating all the problems. And if you want to be, let's say, a programmer, and maybe you have to start from taking some courses in Coursera, and we will also help you to connect some experiential learning through internships or projects.
That's so great. Yeah, so can kind of guide them where they need to go. And rather than like, hey, you need to get this credit and this credit in anthropology, which doesn't help them at all, it's giving them more kind of focused learning for what they actually want to be in the future. I love what you're doing, Alice. I think this is such an incredible vision that you have for education and the future of education. And, the Ministry of Education is pioneering this with you as really some beautiful strides for Taiwan as a whole. So hypothetically, someone wants to come and apply to my company here at Xi Pingfang from XU. How do I know that their accreditation is legitimate? How do I trust that they have actually learned the foundation of education?
It's very interesting, just like what you say. Ministry of Education is actually pioneering with us in this. So we are under review by Ministry of Education right now. And once we are approved, we can get accreditation to students from associate's degree, bachelor's degree to master's degree.
It's just so cool. So essentially you can have 3 levels of accreditation. And you know that with that, then the Ministry of Education as a whole has approved that these students are ready for the world.
Yeah.
Cool. So cool. Well, thinking a little bit about your own future growth, can you share a little bit about what you want to be focusing on maybe in 2022 and beyond?
With COVID, I'm really feeling like the world is shifting even faster. I believe in the growth mindset. So for 2022, I'm going to continue working hard and refining and helping teachers and students to adopt the new improvements in learning and teaching. And I'm also pretty excited about meeting the September 2022 class in XU Experimental University.
Will that actually be the first class?
Yeah.
September 2022, XU University. You heard it here first. Shout out to Alice and all her team. So cool. I just think you are such an advocate for incredible things within education. So I wish you nothing but success, and I will maybe send my future children to XU.
Great. Welcome.
Awesome.
在节目上半段一开始这边，彩彤提到说啊，他除了成立了可能制造所以外，也是 Crossroads 非营利组织的一份子，努力呢在帮大家规划未来这个实验大学的发展。那对于彩彤他做这些促进台湾教育发展的行动啊，大家有注意到刚才 John 是用了什么字来形容他吗？没错，就是 advocate。好，意思是提倡、倡导某个想法、某件事的人。好，不知道各位听众朋友记不记得我们在上一集节目中，在 Angelica 那一集啊，其实也有学到这个字，只是那个时候呢，我们学的是它的动词提倡的意思。那这边虽然也是同样拼法、同样发音，但是它是名词倡导的、提倡的人。像这样说，彩彤他是 an advocate for education， 就是这样子的用法。接着我们谈到的是这个彩彤他成立的可能制造所。好，它是一间教育顾问公司，主要呢是以目标导向策略来帮助学生、帮助老师去找到问题，好，然后去想办法解决它，而不是像无头苍蝇一样没有方向、没有目标，不知道自己的定位啊，或是问题点在哪。那这边讲的这个目标导向策略，就是刚才访谈中彩彤说的 objective fulfillment。注意哦，这个 objective 虽然跟 goal 一样都有目标的意思在，但涵盖的程度不一样，它其中所表达的我们讲的这个目标也不太一样。怎么好像听起来有点不飒飒哈？就是说 goal 它指的比较像是我们在最后希望达成的目标，比较像是长期的远景。那但是 objective 它讲的就比较偏向是为了要达成最后的那个目标而设立的一些方法策略。有趣的是呢，这个 objective 在这边是名词，但是如果把它变成形容词的话呢，就完全跟目标搭不上边，变成是客观的意思。那跟它相反的主观，我们可以说 subjective。好啦，这边是题外话，跟大家做个小补充。回到正题，刚刚讲的这个，除了这个制造所的创办人以外啊，彩彤他也是跟 Crossroads 非营利组织在筹备台湾的第一所实验大学，希望可以让台湾更国际化，也让我们的大学生在自主学习这方面呢，可以更上一层楼，帮助他们知道说未来的在职业道路上可以怎么做选择。那彩彤之所以会有这样子的想法，想要去推动实验教育，其实是因为自己曾经呢在短短1个星期之内学到了比在大学3年学到的还要多还要有用，整个就是被震撼到，让他大开眼界，所以才会想要把这样子的学习方式带入我们的教育体系，希望可以帮助到更多学生。因为比起你一直学人家要求你学的东西，修学校规定你要修的学分，如果是学自己想学、自己有兴趣修的科目，那吸收效果反而还更好，而且对于在未来的求职路上也会更有帮助。这段这边我们听一个片语 to blow one's mind， 意思是我刚才前面讲到的那个大吃一惊，好，很让人震慑震撼这样子。或如果把它改成 mind blowing， 也同样可以表达令人感到震撼。像例如刚才来宾说的 The week-long course really blew her mind， 就也可以给它改成 It was a mind-blowing course。 再来我们上半段尾声，彩彤有分享到一个 mind-blowing news， 好，现学现卖，有没有一个蛮让人震惊的消息，那就是呢，明年的这个时候，明年的9月，他们 XU 实验大学就要开课嘞。如果你刚好是明年要上课的同学，就赶快好好利用这一年，把自己准备好，来迎接自主学习吧。好啦，那这段内容就先在这里告一段落，我们赶快继续听下半段的分享吧。
Well, do you mind if we shift gears a little bit to kind of the story of Alice? So thinking about your own life, when did you begin your journey with language?
My story is when I was 20, I could barely have a conversation in English with others. So that's really a shock to me because I have been learning English for over 10 years, I would say. I couldn't even have a 1-minute conversation with others. So that made me thought about I should probably try something new with my English learning. And this is how I began. And I start language exchange and do something different.
So thinking then, Alice, what was your change? What was your realization that you were actually learning the wrong way?
Yeah, so just like what I share with you, I realized that I couldn't even have a 1-minute conversation with others in English. And that made me start thinking about what went wrong, why I spent such a long time learning English, but I couldn't even have a conversation. So I realized that we spend in Taiwan, most of the students spend so much time reading and writing. But if our goal is to have a conversation or be able to speak English, why didn't we even spend 1 minute in the class talking in English? So I think so I realized that, and I do think I have to change the way I learned and be able to focusing on what I want to achieve.
Yeah, and I think that's so great. Like you said, you're focusing in the classroom on reading and writing, which is important for certain aspects of getting an education. But the applicable language learning comes from speaking and listening and having these output sessions of conversation. And so, yeah, what a wonderful kind of aha moment for you to change that. And so thinking then maybe you could share some tips and advice. You mentioned, you did some language exchanges, but what were the most impactful output moments where you got to speak and listen in English?
When I was 20, I could barely have a conversation with others. So I think one of the most important things I needed to be fixed is my mindset. So having that kind of perfectionistic fixed mindset actually made me more stuck. I changed and focused on having a growth mindset and not on being perfect. I think that's very important because in Taiwan, people tended to be perfect before they really start something. And I think like from today, you can actually maybe talking to yourself in English and you can just start having a conversation with a person from a different culture or watching English news, but maybe you can, let's say, repeat after the episode, just like what you are listening right now. So maybe just repeat what John just said. Welcome to Angie 英文 things like that. So
she's the new host of the show.
So these baby steps will really help you become a more global citizen and be able to use your English. And I would like to share my personal experiences in Germany. So I didn't speak good German when I was there. I don't speak good German right now. So when I was there, sometimes I was really afraid if I say something wrong. But I just try and go do it because I went to supermarket and maybe ask people some really simple question. So I don't want to ask professional questions to others because my German is not up to par. But if I start from simple questions like, how much is this? And do you recommend this food or things like that? And it's pretty easy and it's actionable. So I start from there, and I was able to be more brave and able to talk to someone else.
Yeah, I love that. And I think, it ties so nicely into kind of, like you said, your global mindset and having that shift in perspective from limiting yourself to a very common belief, which most people share, is like, I can't speak another language until I'm perfect. And that's just, a fear of not wanting to lose face and not wanting to embarrass ourselves. But the truth of the matter is when you are having a simple conversation with someone, you're just trying to understand each other. And no one's like, wow, your grammar is terrible. It's like, no, they're just like, they're listening and they want to respond in an appropriate way. And so I think, yeah, it's so great. You said, just talk to yourself in English or talk to yourself in German. I love that. And I think I respond to myself now a lot in Chinese, and it's like a natural thing. I just went back to the US and somebody said something and I was just like, ay, yo, like, ay, yeah, just like these little things. And it makes me closer to the culture of that language I'm trying to learn, that target language. Well, thank you for joining us today on NG Ingwen. It's so great to see all the wonderful things you're doing for education with XU and your company BEducation, and I wish you nothing but success. But a question I love to end the show with is, if you could go back and talk to a younger Alice, would there be any advice you give yourself about life, career, language, anything?
I would say to myself, hey Alice, I'm the slightly older version of you. I know that you have so much you want to accomplish, but you are so scared of doing what you want. Understand that you have nothing you need to prove to other people. You do have it in you, and just start. And please don't give up. There's a whole new universe of opportunities and probably a little bit more challenges in front of you, but you will be definitely able to do it. Just go do it.
That was beautiful. I love it. You wrote a letter to yourself.
So you know what? It's actually the things I constantly talking to myself as well. Yeah, even right now, I think I keep facing a lot of obstacles, and I keep trying to, overcome those obstacles and challenges.
Yeah, and look at you now. You are the founder of a company. You sit on an incredible committee within Crossroads and building up, XU, these experimental universities. And you are proficient in many languages, and, you're a badass. So keep on keeping on, and thank you for being kind of a pioneer also for strong women. I think, this is so cool to see, just women in tech, women founders, women entrepreneurs. So much respect and love to your journey. Well, where can people find you on social media? Where can they find more about your company? Where can they find about XU?
No, so thank you so much for listening NG Ingwen today. And if you want to know more about Crossroads and know more about BEducation, know more about how to use objective fulfillment to fulfill your life objectives or English, feel free to search us on Facebook, 可能製造所 BEducation, and also crossroads.tw. And if you want to contact me, feel free to find me on LinkedIn. You can find the link below this video and just click it and send a message to me.
There you go. Alice Ho, around the world. Awesome, Alice. Well, thank you again for joining us on NG Ingwen, and we will see you hopefully very soon.
Yeah, thank you so much again for having me. It's been a wonderful journey to talking about my experience with you. Thank you.
下半段这边一开始，我们讲到彩彤当年20岁的时候，虽然学英文也学了好几年了，但是几乎没有办法用英文跟人家沟通，因为学校的英文课大多都还是以读跟写为主。虽然说这两部分的能力养成也是很重要没错，但语言 主要毕竟还是用来跟人家沟通的嘛，当然基本的听力跟口述训练也不能落掉。所以为了要突破当时他的困境，彩童除了在课余时间自己去跟别人做语言交换，去磨练他开口说的勇气以外呢，他也会用英文自言自语自己跟自己练习这样子。这听起来真的有点怪，但是这真的很有用大家可以试试看。本人以前也有用过，连现在我学西班牙文的时候也是同样继续用这个方法。好，或者是他也会可能像在某个节目里面人家讲的话句子，他也会重复反复去听去练习，就是去试着学人家母语人士的语调啦，好，他们讲出一句话的方式等等。但如果说觉得这样子太高难度的话，没办法跟得上人家的速度去练习，这样子太难了也没关系，我们也可以从简单的开始去练习。像他以前在德国留学的时候，想要练习德文，就会在超市在买东西的时候去跟人家问，用简单的句子去问问题，问例如说这东西多少钱啊，这个东西口味你推不推荐之类的。反正就是会从生活中呢去找机会帮自己增加听力口说的练习，而不是就纯粹做读跟写的训练而已。好，几个片语我们来听一下。 The truth of the matter is， 有时候也会有人说 the fact of the matter is， 他们跟 the truth is the fact is in reality 意思都差不多，都是事实上，或是就像我们常讲的这个说实在的，只是语气就会比较重一点，带有强调的意涵在。像刚刚 John 用到这片语的时候，他说虽然我们常常在学外语的时候都会觉得说要等学好了再开口讲才不会丢脸，但是说实在的 But the truth of the matter is， 没有人真的会在你们讲话讲到一半的时候在那边想说你的文法怎样怎样啊，大家都是出来混的也不是啊，大家都是在沟通，想要了解对方想要表达什么而已，又不是在给你考英文口试，对不对？另外一个是 up to par， 它这片语表达的是达到水准。刚刚彩童说他没办法用德文跟人家聊比较有深度比较专业的话题，因为能力还不到水准。 Her German is not up to par。 好， P-A-R par， 或者如果把它改成 below par or under par 就变成是在水准之下，或者呢也可以拿来形容身体不舒服。 I'm feeling a little below par today， 就是说我今天感觉不太舒服。好，最后来宾给自己的一些鼓励的话，我觉得大概也对很多人都蛮受用的。就是说我们内心应该都有一些想要去完成的梦，想要达成的目标，只是往往都会因为恐惧或是害怕失败而退缩。那也没有关系啊，害怕人之常情嘛。只要记得我们没有必要去跟谁证明任何事情，要相信自己想做的事一定有能力可以做到。好，那希望大家都有从这一次的内容学到一些东西。有兴趣的话呢，找个时间去了解他们的实验大学，还有他们的这个不可能制造所提供的服务咨询吧。
Awesome. All right, everyone. We'll talk to you next time.
Bye bye.
Bye-bye. Peace. All right. Well, that is our NG Ingwen show for today. We hope everyone enjoyed listening to that. You can connect with us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and now Spotify. You can search NG Ingwen, or you can search on IG NG English ICRT. And don't forget to tune in every Wednesday morning from 6:30 to 7 and Wednesday night from 9 to 9:30. We'll catch you on the next episode. Bye-bye.
好啦，今天的节目就到这边告一段落啦，感谢各位的收听，别忘了订阅我们的 Spotify 还有 YouTube 频道哦。那喜欢我们节目的话，也要记得到 Instagram 到 IG 上追踪我们哦。如果各位有什么其他问题是想要问来宾的，也请欢迎在底下留言告诉我们，我们一定会想办法帮你问到手。好啦，那就下周在空中相会咯，拜拜。